And it starts off with the CEO. So recruitment of the CEO is the board's responsibility. And not just recruit, but also evaluate him from time to time. After all, who is going to evaluate the CEO but the board? The other thing that I recommend, and many organizations do it, and that is the board should also approve the appointment of those people who directly report to the CEO, meaning CEO minus one. The reason is very simple, that these people will may one day take over from the CEO. They play very important roles, typically functional heads. So the board should have a role in approving their recruitment as well. And then top level succession planning, meaning that the board must make sure that there are people in place who can take over from people who will one day retire, or may suddenly leave the job, or may fall ill, or may for whatever reason not be there. It's important that an organization or a business does not become hostage to one individual. Succession planning, therefore, must be done. And of course, the board's responsibility is also to make sure that the members on the board are suitable members. Now, how does a board exercise these responsibilities? I would say through effective leadership. Through effective leadership. And then what do we mean by leadership? I would say, and this is a challenge for me. I've been studying leadership for the last 30 years, maybe. I still am not entirely clear if there is one single definition of leadership. But I would say that to me, leadership is a set of positive behaviors. So it's not your position that makes you leader. It's not your authority that makes you leader. It's your behavior that makes you leader. And the positive behaviors, I think, that are most important, is a behavior that engenders trust. It makes people trust you. And you can inspire people. People are inspired by you. So they're inspired, and you give them confidence. You give them courage. And they become loyal, not to you, but to the organization. In other words, they feel that this organization is worth working for and being loyal to, and this leader or this person is worth working with. And of course, good leadership also motivates people towards superior performance, wants them to be better at what they do, to improve themselves. Let's look at typical board composition. Again, I'll skip through this one quickly. As I said, directors are elected by shareholders. Chairman is appointed by the board. So the directors from amongst themselves will appoint a chairman. The vice chairman, deputy chairman similarly are appointed by the board. The managing director is also appointed by the board, but I'd be grateful if, I'd be grateful if you need to talk, please leave the room and come back without disturbing anybody. Thank you. So the managing director is appointed by the board, but at certain intervals requires to be reappointed, and his reappointment needs to be validated at a subsequent general meeting. Independent director. Now, let's look at independent directors. It's a regulatory requirement for banks and public limited companies at the moment. Now, the independent directors are appointed by the board, but they're subject to the approval of the respective regulatory authority. But this appointment also has to be ratified by shareholders at the following general meeting. Now, the responsibilities of the independent director quite often